Hi peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. How are you? I hope you are well. Today is a little respite that you needed from the wedding content. For the next month or so, I'm going to be swapping it. We're going to do one wedding video, one normal scheduling content video to keep everybody happy. And that's right, you know it, today we are diving deep into the assholes. If you may be new here, it's not as bad as it sounds. Exploring the Am I the Asshole subreddit helps us to expand our own mindsets because we learn so much from the storytelling of others. Also hopefully means we can help other people out, either the people posting or other people in similar situations who happen to stumble across this video. And it's also just a little bit of fun in it. Before we go deep sea diving, I just want to say a huge thank you to our lovely backstage peaches who are members of the Shaaba channel. If you don't know what memberships is, you can take a look down here to find out more. But essentially the backstage peaches help me maintain this channel and have provided some of the posts that we're going to be reacting to today. So shout out to you. Many, many thanks. Let's get going. Am I the arsehole for not eating the birthday cake my mother-in-law baked me? About 1.5 years ago, I made the decision to limit my sugar intake, mainly because I wanted to lose weight. I'm obese, and I have 2 family members with type 2 diabetes. So I don't eat any sweets, cookies, sweet pastries, cakes, etc. In the 1.5 years I've been doing this, I've not lost any weight. Last weekend, my mother-in-law baked me a cake for my birthday. She knew that I didn't eat things like this prior to baking the cake. I've consistently refused all sweets from her for the past 1.5 years. I thanked her but told her I don't eat cakes. She said she knows, but it's my birthday and I can make an exception on my birthday. One slice of cake won't make any difference, it won't break my diet. Then my sister-in-law and father-in-law started pressuring me into eating cake too. Gosh, I'm getting like visions of that Matilda scene, you know, where she's like, oh, blood, sweat and tears, eat all the cake. Oh, anyway, they cut a slice for me and put it in front of me whilst I kept saying, no thank you. When they finally stopped, my mother-in-law looked very hurt. It's just so uncomfortable, isn't it? Just leave the person alone. They don't want to eat the cake, don't eat the cake. She spent hours making that cake, remembering what I used to like in the past and making my favourite flavour. Now I'm here wondering whether I'm an asshole. They are right, one slice of cake won't make any difference, especially since I haven't lost any weight since limiting my sugar intake. Mother-in-law made the cake for me and I refused to even taste it. Am I the asshole? Ah, lots to unpack. First of all, no. I do not think you are the asshole. Things like this really frustrate me because honestly, I see this from my close loved ones and I actually do it too. I am the asshole also in these situations. It's aggressive love, isn't it? It's like, I know this used to make you happy and I really want to make you happy, so please take the thing. But it took me a little while to realise, a little while and a therapist, let's be honest. And some of my loved ones still haven't learned that actually the best way to make someone happy is to listen. Because if you're not listening to their wants, then you are not respecting their needs. And that is a problem, my friend. So no, I do not think you are the asshole. Unfortunately, I think maybe your mother-in-law is being like, and what's the word? I feel bad calling her an asshole. She's like a subconscious asshole. An asshole without mens rea, if you will. But regardless of intentions, the damage is still being done. Here's why you're not the asshole. 1, autonomy is the #1 rule in this society. We are individual people. And I know this sounds like such a big concept for what is a trivial matter such as a birthday cake, but it boils down to the fact that you and only you get to decide what you do with your body. And if you don't want to put cake in it, you don't have to put cake in it. It's as simple as that. You mentioned the words a couple times, that your mother-in-law has said this too, to say one slice of cake won't hurt. That might be true. I also have been on many dieting journeys. That's another video to go into. Is it okay? Are you doing it for yourself? Are you doing it in the right ways? It's totally fine if for your health reasons in particular, you're wanting to limit your sugar intake. It doesn't even have to correlate with your weight. If you just want to cut sugar out your diet, you are allowed to do that. It doesn't matter that you haven't lost any weight during this time. It's still a habit that you are wanting to make for yourself and you're entitled to do that, providing it's coming from the right intentions. But I don't think, based on your post, that, you know, society's making you do that, so all good. But the point is that one piece of cake could end up really setting you back because your mother-in-law, and no one else for that matter, knows what your habits are and where your boundaries are. It might be that cake, like just like Kevin Hart in that Jumanji movie, is your absolute kryptonite. And so eating that one slice of cake will be a gateway to eating many, many cakes, which is something that you clearly don't want to do. Take shisha, for example. Many people try and quit it, but it's hard because nicotine, like sugar, is an addictive substance. It could be that you haven't shisha'd in many, many years, and it would be silly to then break that habit, to be like, oh, come on, have one shisha, it won't hurt. Yeah, sure, it might not, maybe, I don't know, it might not do that damage to your body, but it does to your mindset and breaks a routine. So actually your mother-in-law has no right to say whether it's, oh, it's only one, it doesn't matter, it's your birthday, blah, 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 blah. That's your decision to make. I will just caveat that by also saying based on my dieting and nutritional knowledge, that building healthy habits that don't fully restrict you from food is better than avoiding it entirely. So for example, if you're trying to limit sugar from your diet because you don't want to binge or continuously eat it, it's actually a good idea to allow yourself to treat it sometimes, because studies show that being able to have it in small, controlled substances as and when you want it is better than totally cutting it out of your diet, where you will then eventually binge and end up overeating and developing more unhealthy habits. However, that is very different. Like, the fact of whether you should be eating sugar or not for you is very different to this situation where the problem is your mother-in-law, like someone else, is telling you that you should do something that you don't particularly want to do. And she's not doing it from that point of view to help your diet. She's doing it from, sounds so dark, but a very controlling point of view, to be like, I know what makes you happy, eat the damn cake! When the reality is she's not really listening, because what would really make you happy is to not have the cake. So no, you're not the asshole. And I wish that aggressive love givers, a group that I once was a part of, I wish that we could all teach each other, so we have to spread this message, okay? That it's not okay. It's not okay to not listen to people and think that you know what someone's happiness is in situations like this where it isn't justified. Should we see what other people have to say? Let's take a look. Not the asshole. My mother-in-law gifted me handmade butter and a pot of rosemary for my birthday for my future steak cooking, because she knows I'm on keto. That's an example of a considerate gift, not the cake, even if she did make it with the best of intentions. That's adorable. Listening, respecting, gifting, perfection. And it is true, if you don't eat sweet things, perhaps your mother-in-law could have made you like your favourite meal, like a savoury meal. Just a thought. Not the arsehole. Making cake for you wasn't an expression of affection, it was, this is how it be done, dominance display. If she wanted to show affection through food, she could have made any other food. Exactly. Someone else said, this, a better way to show affection for OP would be to not do the thing they asked you not to do. Bong. If someone shares with you that they don't want to do something, and objectively speaking, after evaluating the situation, they are entitled, it is a right thing for them to not do that thing, then don't make them do that thing. Don't push them into doing that thing. Not the asshole. One bite could spiral you into 1,000 bites and binge eating all the sweets. It's why I stopped eating fast food. As soon as I have one burger, I'm eating fast food for the next 2 months because my gut loves and craves in very mean ways. OP's actually responded to this and said, yes, I am afraid of spiraling out of control, but at the same time, I feel like it's actually an argument to eat that slice, since I should try to develop a healthy relationship with food and somehow learn not to spiral over one slice of cake. A star for your reflection there. Okay, I feel like we did alright with that one. Should we move on to another? Am I the arsehole for buying my son a cake another kid is allergic to? There seems to be a cake theme in today's video. I and my wife have a son, Dalton, 6 months old. Alyssa asked me to order the cake for Dalton's birthday party, and Dalton told me he wanted a chocolate superhero cake, so that's what I ordered. One of the kids at the party is allergic to chocolate, which I knew, but there was a lot of other desserts, and my son wanted chocolate. It's his birthday. Don't tell me. The mum told me that I made her son feel left out and excluded from the kids having cake. Am I the arsehole? Dude, you are not the arsehole. There is honestly no difference in my eyes between this and me going into a restaurant with a child who has like celiac issues, right? So not being able to eat gluten and being like, excuse me, you are not allowed to serve pizza because my child can't eat it. Like, no. Do you think everything in the world is gonna stop just because one person can't do something? The onus is on you teaching your child, and your child being able to grow up knowing that actually chocolate is everywhere. Chocolate is all around us. Your child, unfortunately, is just going to have to live in a chocolate-filled world. Okay. Jamie and I wanted a specific curry, but it's not a vegan curry for our wedding. And so we had the curry, but guess what? For our vegan guests that were coming, we made sure they had vegan alternatives that were wonderful and tasty. I feel like it's mothers like this saying these things that then make kids feel bad about having the allergies that they do. She could have been like, hey babe, chocolate is all around us, and so I'm gonna give you a special cake just for you because we don't want you to feel left out. So here you go, here's your birthday cake that you can enjoy whilst other people have birthday cakes too. I, as a parent, would do that for my child, pre-thinking that birthday parties happen and my child would want cake. But at the same time, I would also expect, as this dad has done, alternatives to be present. So if there are other desserts there, the kid doesn't need the cake. Oh my god. Not the arsehole. Since you had other desserts and it's not your fault that she doesn't know how to talk to her son about his allergies, boom. And it's not even like it's a really obscure thing. Like chocolate is very common in childhood. Oh gosh, I really hope that kid is brought up not resenting this allergy because of how his mum reacts. Not the arsehole. My brother-in-law is 7 and autistic. His birthday is 3 weeks before mine. He asked what birthday cake I was asking for and I said chocolate. He replied, I don't like chocolate, so I won't have any, but you can still have some of my birthday cake. That's so cute. Just the idea of like a little 7-year-old child being like, I don't like that, so I'm not going to have any, but you can still have some of mine. Baby brains. I love them so much. As a kid growing up with food allergies, I could never eat the cake at birthday parties, so I'd always bring my own little cupcake. More. It was sad and I felt left out, but it also meant that I was still able to come and have a treat without going to the ER. You're not the arsehole, especially if there were other options there for the kid. I love the fact that you could bring a little cupcake. I feel like as a mum, I would want to like celebrate and be like, oh, look at this. You always get to carry around a little emergency cake. How cute is that? I guess it's not the same, but not totally dissimilar. But growing up, I grew up in a Muslim household, and being in the UK, every party I went to had pork on the menu. Cocktail sausages everywhere. Scotch eggs everywhere. Pepperoni pizza everywhere. And to an extent, yes, I also felt left out. But is it something that has ever scarred me to this day? Did it ever stop me from being able to have a really good time at said parties? No. Was it ever something I thought about afterwards? No. Move along. Let us move along to another Am I the Arsehole? Am I the arsehole for evicting my nephew and niece from the apartment after discovering that they were behind the series of prank calls my wife and I received? Drama! I, 38-year-old man, let my nephew, Nick, 20, and his sister, Sadie, 18, move into my old apartment, stay at rent-free and focus on college. This isn't a new thing because I've always been close to them and helped them and their parents, my brother and his late wife, a lot. The situation started when my wife and I found out that my wife's pre-existing health issues had made her become infertile. Oh, this is going somewhere really sad. This was so devastating for the whole family, not just us. My wife told me about a series of calls she'd received via our landline. She said that the caller would just play a recording of baby noises and phrases like mama every single time. We get at least 4 to 5 calls a day, and I've listened to the last 2 of them. All had the same baby sounds. We figured it was someone mocking my wife's fertility issues, but didn't know who it was. We've told a lot of people about it. I told my friend, who was able to identify the caller as my nephew Nick, and then my niece Sadie. I was in shock, and it took me some time to actually believe what I was told. Dude, this is so mean. This is bullying. This is so horrible. After it was confirmed, I just had a breakdown and went over to the apartment and confronted them. They denied it till I threatened to evict them. Then they said they did it as a prank that was directed at my wife, not me. As if that makes some kind of difference. Oh my goodness, we haven't even finished the freaking story, but arsehole, arsehole. Big assholes. And they thought it was to get her to laugh or something. I called them effing idiots because not only my wife didn't laugh, she cried her eyes out every time we got those awful calls. And at 18 and 20, they should absolutely freaking know better. This has made my blood boil. I'm so angry. I told them I want them out of my apartment and gave them eviction papers. They freaked out and started pleading with me till I left. My brother called me later to ask about what was going on. I told him and he started apologizing on their behalf, saying they were kids just messing around. At the ages of 18 and 20, 1, that's not kids. 2, that's not simply messing around. That's hurtful. What is the point of this prank? That is so disgusting. Not realizing what they're doing. Like, how do you not realize what you're doing? How do you not know that that's going to cause anything but trauma and upset? He went on about how evicting them will affect them and him, since he's struggling with his own situation. Well, then they're adults that need to learn that actions have consequences. He started begging me to let it go and promised to have Nick and Sadie grovel with apologies, but I refused. Now my parents got involved, saying the kid's dad is choosing to have nothing to do with them if they get evicted, and said that the kids look up to me and I shouldn't let what happened ruin the relationship that we have. Oh, the amount of times I hear people go, oh, don't let it ruin the relationship that you have. If someone is doing something, right, and that something garners a response, don't let it ruin the relationship you have, the fact that they have done that thing, the action that they did, has ruined the relationship. Not your reaction of feeling justifiably hurt, angered, upset, or whatever negative consequences of their shittiness. It puts significantly undue pressure on the person who is already hurting and trying to process their feelings. Let them do what they need to do. So, uncle, are you the arsehole? No, I do not think you the arsehole. Absolutely, in this situation, the kids are the arsehole. I guess the question is, are you the arsehole for going to the extent of feeling like you would kick them out? Their dad is now saying that they will not speak to them if they are evicted. That is not your fault. My question to you is, what do you see your relationship with the niece and nephew being going forward? Is this something that you feel you and very importantly, your wife, because you're a team, which again really annoys me because the whole, oh, you're doing this to your wife, not to you. Like, what's the difference? We are a team. Like, what? Why would you say something like that? That makes it worse. I imagine you would see them at family events. How would that make you feel? Would you do things at birthdays? Like, do you want to maintain a relationship with them? If you feel that this hurt is something that you could get over, and if they truly understood how it was hurtful and sincerely apologized and were able to grow from this, then what? Because if that's a world that you can see harmony existing in, then you should consider whether a very large change like evicting them would benefit in this situation. Having said that, at the end of the day, you're still not an asshole because it's your place and they have severely bullied both of you in quite a traumatic way. That's not okay, and you are entitled to not let them freeload off of you, because that's a very, very kind thing that you're doing by giving them a place rent free. I feel like that's a tricky one. Do you agree with me? Let me know downstairs. Just be kind. That made me so mad. Let's take a look at what some other people say. If it was supposed to make her feel better, they wouldn't hide behind anonymity. They were cruel and they feel bad now because they were caught and need to face consequences, not because they see that what they did was wrong. They're upset because they got caught, not because of what they were doing. And that's big. Recording sounds like that, like going to that extent, and for 5 phone calls a day where someone's clearly upset. Like, what? I hate don't let it ruin the relationship you have. What relationship? The one where I put a free roof over their heads and they repeatedly traumatized me and my wife? Yeah, it'd be a real shame to let go of something that special. Totally agree. Okay, let's do one more and then we will we will go have a relaxing chamomile tea. Am I the arsehole for lying about a food allergy? I'm vegan. I have been for over 5 years. I'm lucky to live in a major city with a plethora of entirely or partially vegan restaurants, but when I visit my family in rural Pennsylvania, my options become non-existent. I try to avoid eating out when I'm home, but sometimes it's not avoidable. For example, my sister's wedding rehearsal dinner. My sister had her dinner at the foremost fine dining establishment in town. It's a big old tavern that bills itself as a French-influenced steakhouse. Menu fare is every imaginable cut of steak, drowned in butter, with some chicken and fish, drowned in butter, and veggies and mashed potatoes, drowned in butter. There's 1 or 2 veggie dishes, which are also drowned in a creamy sauce. Given that my little brother used to wait tables here, I know that they frown upon substitutions and don't use much veggie oil for the sake of quality. I'm so surprised that restaurants like this still exist. And I am talking from a place of living somewhere, you know, in London, close to London, where every restaurant has to have gluten-free options, veggie options, vegan options. So, yeah, shocked, but okay. I've had 2 negative experiences here too. I tried to explain my vegan diet the first time, and yet my plate of broccoli was drizzled with butter and my iceberg lettuce came with ranch. The second time, a chef came out personally and promised me that the tomato pasta dish was vegan, but then I found that they'd swirled Parmesan cheese into the red sauce to disguise the fact that they'd accidentally sprinkled it on top. That instant broke my trust completely, and I totally get why. If this is why you have, like, said that you had an allergy, like, I get it. How is a restaurant just allowing that to slide? I wonder how they would treat Muslim people. Would they be like, oh, well, it's got bacon in it, let's just hide it, and act as if they don't know? Like, no. Same for people with allergies. People have the right to know what they're putting in the bodies. They have the right to choose what they put into their bodies, and if they are paying you for a meal, just provide that. I almost feel like this should be illegal. Anyway, let's read the rest. For my sister's dinner, I called ahead and told the chef that I have a life-threatening food allergy to meat proteins, dairy, and egg. Okay, that's a bit extreme. Finally, they took me seriously. I was served a dish of plain pasta with salt and pepper with fruit, which sucked, but I appreciated the consideration. Wow. For the record, the vegan dishes served at our wedding was a ratatouille tagliatelle, so I really feel like a fine dining establishment could do better than plain pasta with salt and pepper. Like, just squish a tomato and stick it in, do you know what I mean? Oh god. For those allergies though, they had to scrub down the entire kitchen, clean the fryers, check the ingredients list of their products. The prep almost cost them an extra 2 hours, and I didn't realise this. They charged my parents, who are paying for the rehearsal, an extra several hundred for their time. That escalated quickly. My sister and parents are livid. I already sent my mum several hundred, needed to cover the cost of the extra, but that upset me for lying and humiliating the chef at the restaurant, who they have close ties to. That makes it worse. If your friend runs a restaurant who is disrespecting the needs of their customers, tell them that they're doing a bad job. But oh no, you have really dug yourself in a hole in this one. My sister's wedding is this weekend, and something tells me that it's going to be tense. Personally, I think that if a restaurant's going to continue with the ignorance in consideration, they get what they deserve. Am I the arsehole for ensuring my needs are met? I kind of feel like I want to say you are not the arsehole, question mark. I want to say not the arsehole, because you have evidenced examples that you can't trust them. If the only way they're going to take it seriously is if there is like the threat of an allergy, I kind of see why. It's not something I would do. I don't know why, it just makes me feel like I'm lying and that bad karma is going to get to me somehow, but I would definitely be shouting at them and being like, look, I need my food to be vegan. You are not taking me seriously. I would even go as far to be like, I'm going to watch your preparation. No, I wouldn't do that. I would say, I am going to check, like, I want an ingredients list of everything that's in here. And if I get one sense that it is wrong, I will take further action. You can't be disrespecting paying customers like that. It must be illegal to feed people deceivingly. Ugh, should we see what other people have to say? I'm very confused about this one. Oh, you're the arsehole. Another you're the arsehole. Wow. Lots of you're the arseholes. Fellow person with food allergies here. OP is the exact reason restaurants don't take me seriously when I say no tomatoes please, I'm allergic. When it comes out with tomatoes, they say just take them off. No. Does anaphylaxis mean anything to them? No. Because of people like OP. Fair point. I am an EpiPen carrying allergic to frickin' mango of all things. I'm sorry. I can't eat anything that shares a surface with mango. Thankfully, in food it's easy to avoid, cosmetics not so much. The next person with severe allergies could die because you cried wolf. Honestly, there are so many people who are very mad at OP here. Seriously, I actually do have an allergy to meat. If I eat beef, chicken or pork, I'll be legitimately sick for as long as it takes for it to get in my system. Don't lie about allergies, because when people actually have allergies, they won't take it seriously. So yes, you are the arsehole, don't lie about allergies. Well, there you go, we live and learn. I rescind my not the arsehole, and I have learnt you are the arsehole. Good to know. I felt uncomfortable about the lying aspect, but I honestly didn't think about the additional consequences that it would have on trivializing the matter for people who genuinely do have really bad allergies. Totally get that's the point. That's why we love making these videos. Look at us learning something new. Look at me learning something new. Thank you for sharing your points of view. I appreciate the growth. Jumping on this comment, the ignorance here is outrageous. If you've been vegan for an extended period of time, chances are your body won't react well to any amount of animal protein. Your trust was broken by your last two experiences at the same restaurant. If they don't want to have people lying to them, they should start listening to customers when they say they have dietary needs. I'm also livid that they charge your parents hundreds in order to make an allergy-friendly meal. That really, yeah, honestly, the biggest arsehole here is the restaurant. They should just be respecting people's needs, and they shouldn't be charging people for having an allergic issue. To me, such serious allergies are similar to disabilities, and it would totally be discriminatory to charge people for the extra work that needs into having equal practices just because you are not competent at doing your job. What do they do if someone shows up on the day and mentions an allergy? I think they took advantage of you calling ahead, exaggerating the situation, charging your parents because they could see that your parents were embarrassed. The place is awful, not the arsehole. It's another subconscious arseholery, isn't it? You didn't mean to be an arsehole, but I can see why it's a bit holy, but not for the reasons that your family are livid at you for, right? Just because of the effects that it has on wider society, because people lie about having allergies so often. Well, there we go, my friends. What do we think of that arsehole edition? It was quite food oriented. Honestly, I'm still so sad about the baby noise prank one. People suck. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I'll catch you next time with another video. For now, I will love you and leave you. Be kind and have a great day. Bye!